Hey guys, it's Joshy here, and I'm back with another Ways to Use. Today we are looking at 7 ways to use the multiplying Pokemon Reuniclus in Sword and Shield. Now it is a straight psychic type with a mostly 50-50 gender ratio, but has a lot of coverage. Now his abilities, Overcoat, which prevents weather effects, and powder moves such as Sleep Powder, as it says there, is probably the worst one out of the lot, and I wanted to look at that. It's mostly only used, and it isn't in here if you want to counter powder things such as Rage Powder drawing you in, or Sleep Powder from, a G-Max Butterfree or something along those lines. Other than that, I look at the other two, which is Magic Guard, which prevents all damage done to you except for moves directly. So whether it be poison, burn, entry hazards, all that is avoided with that. And then our final one is Regenerator, which is a third of your HP recovered every time you get returned back into the Pokeball. So it's quite useful. And then finally, its stats. Now, with only base 490, it doesn't sound like a crazy number, but when you look at it, the only stat it massively sacrifices is speed, where it's only got 30. Attack is sitting at 65, very average area, but then with a HP of 110, and then our defense of 75, special defense 65, and then a whopping special attack of 125, it can do a lot. Now, let me tell you, that 125 actually hasn't gone up much since its first stage, but the rest of it has just exploded. So there is a lot of use for this Pokemon, and let me start showing you some of them. So we'll start with number 7. Now, please remember these are in no particular order, but I'm going to get into them. Also, some are fairly similar, showing the options we have here. Please do remember some moves I have not included because they aren't available in this game. So starting with the first one, we are a Calm Magic Guard Reuniclus with Iron Defense, Focus Blast, Recover, and Stored Power. So as I said before, we've got Magic Guard, you can see down the bottom, and we are a Calm Nature. We are running max HP, max Special Defense, because we really want to be Special Defensive for this guy, because we have the Iron Defense to boost our defense stat anyway. And then we're running the Weakness policy, and you'll see why. But running maxed Special Attack gives you... Sorry, max Special Defense gives you that option. So... Anyway, guys, as well, let me know down below if you like what I've done this time. I've tried to cut out all move selections to shorten the video as much as possible without overspeeding things up. So letting me know about that is the best thing possible. So anyway, we're going to get a Poison Jab here, which generally as Reuniclus, unless you're not... Reuniclus, I say it wrong all the time. You're not going to outspeed without a Trick Room, generally. So anyway, we're going to Iron Defense there. We're going to get Stealth Rock. This guy's just mostly setting up. And because I'm Magic Guard, even if I do get poisoned, I'm not too stressed. So I'm going for a second Iron Defense. This way as well, I can... The good thing with Iron Defense here is I'm actually going to boost up my defense. So I'm going to be able to take more. But the thing on top of that is my stored power goes up. So stored power starts at a base power of 20, and for every boost you get, it goes up by another 20. So at the moment I am plus 6 in defense, so I am 140 base power. You got to remember this is stabbed, and it will also be boosted again if I get a weakness policy off. Now this does cap, I believe, around 220. I might be slightly wrong, but even then, you're still hitting super hard, especially if you are a stab user, so psychic type. So I'm going to go for the Store Power. This Crystal is very defensive, but nonetheless, he can barely touch me. And he's done his setup. So he actually swaps here. Now, I do nearly all these battles in Battle Tower unless I need to show something specific. So Morwell's going to come in. I'm going to hit Morwell with a Stored Power. And it's going to do well over half, so we're going to take it down next turn. I was kind of hoping for Morwell to be able to get a Crunch off, but he's obviously not carrying Crunch, because as soon as I get the Crunch, it's going to do nothing because of, my massive boosted defense, but I'm going to get an extra 4 stat boost, 2 in attack, 2 in special defense, special attack, sorry. And then my special attack is also going to be twice the power. Unfortunately, I'm not getting that luckier. So now I'm carrying the Focus Blast. The reason I'm carrying this is for 2 things. One, obviously steel types like this are going to take more damage, but on top of that, we are also able to hit dark types, and that's our biggest worry here. The only Pokemon you're going to really be walled against, generally, is either Sableye or Spiritomb. So without the boosts, I'm not going to take him out in one hit without the special attack boost. But I'm able to go for another Focus Blast. I could have gone for another Stored Power here, but I thought, what's the point? And we're going to take out Copperaja there. now we just got to deal with the Crustal. Now, again, as I said, I'm Magic Guard, so you don't generally want to be swapping this guy because you're not going to get any recovery off by doing so like you would with a Regenerator. But once you've got your boosts up, you generally don't want to be pushing for a Regenerator anyway. So I go for the heal because I know this thing carries Protect and it's most likely going to go for it at this stage. And yeah, so all we've got to do now is take him out and he's going to hit me. I'm poisoned, so it's not going to do anything, and we're able to get that off. Now, I actually find being poisoned is one of the best, because being burnt obviously is a problem, being asleep, being frozen, or that burnt is only a problem if you're physical, I mean, but you generally better off being poisoned with Magic Guard. So anyway, into number 6. So this is Reuniclus. We are another Magic Guard, very similar to our first set, but I wanted to show off something you can do. So we're running Carmine this time with Future Sight, Focus Blast, and Recover. So we are a bold nature this time. We have max HP, then a mix between defense and special attack. Because we have the Carmine, we can boost our special defense. We have the Keyberry, which boosts your defense on a physical hit. And we also have Magic Guard again, as I may not have pointed out properly before. So anyway, we're going to go into this one. Now, this set, I really do enjoy this one because it can make use of a really interesting way Future Sight works, and I'll show you in a moment. But I'm going to get hit with a Fake Out. Not the biggest problem, but I don't do flinch, but nonetheless I do get my defense boost off it, so it's not really that much of a problem. Now you may notice this a little sped up, and it's a longer battle. So I'm going to go for the Carmine, generally because I thought he might be specially offensive, which he showed, but I wanted to make sure I have a couple boosts up, so I'm going to be able to be taking as many of these hits as easy. Well, taking them as well as possible. Taking less HP when being hit. Anyway, carrying the Recover here, I know I can heal off more than I'm getting damaged. The only problem is with Dark Pulse, I can be flinched. So I went for another Carmine. Now, if I got flinched there, looks like I should have been able to live another one, but you got to be careful. That's the problem, though. You can get through it pretty easy, but there are more often than not, I find a flinch will catch you out somewhere. So anyway, I'm going to go for the Recover this turn. Now I'm taking a lot less. I've got plus, what was that? 2 or 3 in 2 in attack, special attack, and 2 in special defense, and plus 1 in defense. So we're going to be able to take most stuff. And because we're max HP with such a big HP stat, we're going to be doing all right. Now, as you saw, I just used Future Sight. Now, one big thing about Future Sight we can utilize. Now, we used Future Sight when we were plus 2 in special attack, but using Carmine, Nasty Plot, anything that raises your special attack following a Future Sight actually is really awesome because you get the boosts afterwards. So the boosts that you use between using the move and like now where the Meowstic got hit are not applied until the move hits the Pokemon. So if you can get one off early and then boost your stats, those boosted stats are going to affect the hit when it happens. So that is a really cool thing. Then that's what I was aiming to show with this set. And it's really cool because that way you can have a couple boosts, someone thinks they're okay, and then you can bring it in. So now we've got a Musharna to deal with. Now this thing's actually slower than me, so I'm sure they're aiming to be a slow set. I'm going to go for another boost because I thought he's going to hit me especially, but no, he's going to pull out the Rock Slide and it's still doing nothing. Musharna doesn't have the biggest attack stat, and I have a boosted, well, my defense is boosted a little bit. He's going to actually play out the Trick Room, not a fuss. And as you can see now, okay, room service, because, you know, they love wasting my time. But nonetheless, here we're going to recover off. I'm not sure exactly how much damage I'm going to get off him on him with a Future Sight, but nonetheless, I'm like, at least I can get another Carmine off. But I flinched, so I didn't get an extra boost in there. But it's actually going to do pretty well. I was like, okay, well, let's see if I can deal with him quickly. I went for the Focus Blast just again because I thought I didn't want that time wasting. I didn't want these battles too long. And with the boosts I have, even though it's not very effective and not stabbed, it's easily enough to do the work needed. And then finally we have the Hatterene, and let me just tell you, this was a pain. But I just wanted to show you. So going for the Future Sight, obviously there is one of the worst things we can have, which is the substitute against the Future Sight. Now, without doing anything else, I really have to work through it. Then it's obviously got Nuzzle because it wants to be a pest. So now I'm paralyzed where, you know, being Magic Guard, if I got poisoned earlier, this thing couldn't have the option to paralyze me. So It's quite interesting. And then he's got Calm Mind too. So, you know, just to make sure he's taking less damage. My Focus Blast is going to hit. I'm not 100% sure if the, you know, Calm Mind saved him there. It would have been fairly close, but he's also 4 times resistant. But definitely going to be taken out there with that. The sub's going to be taken out with the Future Sight. And I just let that one roll off because, trust me, that went on forever. So heading into number 5 now, we have a really cool set to show off, really utilizing an ability and an item combination. So I'll show you and go to that in a second. But nonetheless, we are running Psychic, Calm Mind, Recover, and Shadow Ball. Now there are other moves you can use other than Psychic. We saw Future Sight, and there are others, including new ones. But if you want, your Psychic's a pretty damn trustworthy one. We are in Modest Nature, Max HP, Max Special Attack, and we have the Magic Guard ability. And as you can see, we have the Life Orb. So that is the one I want to get to mixed with Magic Guard, and it's quite useful. So I'll get to showing you in a battle. So this guy, now as I said before, I have cut out the move selection, and please do let me know, I'm reiterating myself, that what you think of that, and if it flows fine for you, and if you like it a bit better. Especially things like this. I probably could cut out some turns, but seeing my HP drop or increase randomly without me showing the turns, to me, can seem like I'm not really showing the set, and there's a possibility I could have put boosts or anything in that time, so I don't want to do that. I want to show you guys the whole lot in one go. So I'm going to go for the Calm Mind first, thinking if I'm getting hit specially, which I am, I can definitely boost up and make myself be able to take this a lot better than I could before. Now, my other concern though is there's crits, there's flinches, and I don't want to leave myself too low for the next Pokemon coming in, because as much as I'm giving myself a boost in special defense, my defense is still lacking. Now, it's not a bad stat, and it's still a base, what was it, 75 I believe, but I don't want to get hit there, so I'm going to luckily don't flinch again. And now my aim is really just to put myself to max HP, so I'm in a really nice spot to face the next Pokemon coming in. But of course I flinch, because why wouldn't you flinch me, just to make this take longer. And yeah, so at this point it's just recovering off what I've taken damage wise, because we're going to make sure we're okay. So I could have attacked here, but I thought one more recover ain't going to hurt, and it didn't. So I don't flinch too, knowing my luck if I went for an attack I would have flinched and then had to recover anyway next turn. So now I'm at full HP, I'm ready to start doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to get Air Slash again, obviously. I'm like, please don't flinch. I don't flinch, and I'm able to get the Shadow Ball off. Now the cool thing about this is I'm holding the Life Orb, so I do get a Life Orb boost, so that damage is going to hit a lot harder. But the one thing due to Magic Guard is I do not take that damage from the Life Orb. So my HP is not dropping while getting a boost from a Life Orb, and it's something, it really works well if you think about it. So anyway, we're going to get the Greedent coming in. Quick Claw, of course, activate and goes for a Crunch. That is why I didn't want to leave myself too low. And I'm able to go for a Psychic, hoping to take this thing out in one hit with the boosts. And I will. Stab, Life Orb. Was it +2 or +3 special attack? We're fine. So finally we've got the Aromatisse coming in, and I'm like, okay, well, this thing could be a little bit of a problem. But by the looks of it, he may be a Trick Room user. I wouldn't be surprised, especially having a Greedent on your team as well. And I was correct. So I'm able to get the Recover off to put myself safely in a zone in case I couldn't take him out in one hit. And now I thought, you know what, I really want to make sure I take this thing out. And I doubt straight off the bat he's going to be able to take me out. But, well, actually I'm going to put my money on it because he's going to be a special attacker and I've got special defense boosts, max HP. And now that I've Dynamaxed, this HP stat's going to go up. So as you guys can see, it's pretty good once he Dynamaxes having so much HP. So anyway, I'm going to go for the Encore, but it doesn't matter because I Dynamaxed anyway, which was lucky. And I'm able to get the Max Mindstorm off, and this Aromatisse is going to go down in one hit. Now, if you did Dynamax earlier, then you could also give yourself the Psychic Terrain boost, which is so many boosts to your attacks. But there was no need of it too early, and it was only needed then mostly to get a big strong attack off, but it helped me to avoid that problem. So let's head into number 4. So we are looking at probably the trolliest of the sets I had. Now you can run a better trolley set or Staller with old moves, but we don't have access to them, so we're going to run Trick, Attack, Confusion Ray, and Recover. So as you can see, we've got a few different attacks now. You could run a Dynamax level, but I didn't run any here. We are a Bold Nature, max HP, mixed defense. And then we have Magic Guard, so we're not taking damage from anything else. And then finally, we're carrying the Toxic Orb. So I think you can see why Magic Guard is really important. Now, please do remember that you can, as I said, run a Dynamax boost on this guy by giving him Dynamax candies. I just didn't see the point of doing it, but if you really wanted the extra HP in case you needed to stall, then it's not a bad idea. Now, I don't mind stall, but some people get really tacky or weird about stall sets, but I didn't mind it. So anyway, Pangora's got the Quick Claw, of course it does. And we hit, it's doing a quarter to a third, so I was glad to get the Attract off first turn. I thought that makes it 50% chance of not attacking, and that's what I want to see. Now I'm going to get hurt by the Toxic Orb, sorry, so, you know, as I said before though, being poisoned isn't a problem because the only negative side of that is loss of HP. And because I can't get that, I don't get any other reductions. I can't be frozen, and now I cannot be put to sleep, and I cannot be paralyzed as well. So the three things that it would cost me aren't going to. So yeah, I do go for the trick, and I get the Quick Claw. I'm like, come on, if this is going to be close, because if he gets a big roll, there's a good chance he could take me out. But it doesn't matter anyway, because I get the Recover off, which I'm so happy about, thanks to the Quick Claw, and I'm sitting in a nice spot. And I'm like, come on, be immobilized, but I love. Of course not. No one loves me. So, again, I'm sitting in a safe spot. I'm going to be able to take a hit next turn. The poison's slowly racking up, so I thought, you know what? Let's see what I can do. So anyway, he's going to get through again, and I'm like, can you stop getting through on these? Because I'm going to die next turn. But luckily, I thought this time I'm going to go for the Recover. I had the Confusion Ray option, but I thought I'm still betting on the chance of him not hitting me. And I didn't want to play that game when I had an option to keep myself in the safe zone. So do remember that sometimes. You can play this lucky game with Confusion Ray, Recover and everything. But if you're in a place which isn't looking super stable, I suggest if you've got the opponent in a position where they're losing HP, like this, or an area where you're not going to be, you know, hurt by doing so, don't be afraid to go to the recovery. So now the Quick Claw activates this turn, which is pretty cool in my opinion, because now it's going to activate for my Confusion Ray. So we're going to get the actual confusion off this turn. So Pangoro is finally, well not finally, but is confused now. And it's going to even help me out by giving itself a little uppercut to its own face. So the poison has built up nicely now. It should be going down next turn. So I was thinking about what to do. In the end, I just went for the trick. Now the reason I went for the trick here was because as much as I like the Quick Claw, for me, I want the Toxic Orb so I can poison the next Pokemon. So do remember that trick, but some people will swap out for that exact reason, so you can't get it back. But nonetheless, being able to use Trick is a good way to screw over your opponent when their Pokemon are like, you know, they're bringing a Choice Scarf and you swap it out so it's no longer so fast, or things like that. You can make things be really interesting. Now, I do end this one here because it would go on forever, but you get the idea of this one. So we're moving on to number 3. That one, sorry, is my Reuniclus. We are a Brave Nature. We have Drain Punch, Fire Punch, Gyro Ball, and Zen Headbutt. As I said, we're running Brave, so we've got a reduction in speed and a boost in attack. So we're running max HP, max attack, and then we've got Regenerator this time. Now there is a reason we're running Regenerator, and I will talk about it in the match. And then we're carrying Choice Band. That is boosting our attack up nicely. We with a base 65 attack with a Choice Band, you're going to hit pretty hard even without any boosts. So we're going to get the Vikavolt coming in, and I thought, sweet. This thing is super effective against me though, but with max HP, if he's not running too strong of a set, I should be able to take a hit and then take him out. But then he goes for the sub, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can we stop facing substitute Pokemon with this team? So I'm going to go Fire Punch, I'm going to take him down because it's super effective and I am Choice Banded. Then, guess what? He's going to go for a Substitute, and I just realised I left that move choice in, but it can stay there now. And I'm going to go for the Fire Punch, I'm going to take out the Substitute, and he's going to come back in. Now, this is, although repetitive, we are, you know, getting somewhere. I'm trying to get it through fast, but as you can see, he can't do it forever. So anyway, we're going to go for this. Take out this. So unless he has some miraculous recovery at the end of this turn, which he don't, I'm going to be able to take him out next turn. So he goes for the guillotine. Lucky misses. I was like, what a trolley set. I love it. So anyway, the fire punch this time is going to take him out from that range easy. I could have gone for other things, but I wanted to make sure it hits. So next we're going to get the Jolteon coming in. Now here, we don't want to be hitting with Fire Punch. Generally, with what we've got, we want to be hitting with Zen Headbutt because it's stabbed. We're not on low HP, so we don't need to rely on a Drain Punch. But here's where the cool part comes in. Now, what we can do here is, as I am, Dynamax, and that frees up our locked-in move, allowing us to move between the 4 moves for 3 turns, and thus, once it is over, returning back and giving me a reset choice as to the move I'm locked into, which is a really cool way to make good use of a choice Pokemon. The other thing is, I am now able to pick Max Punch Max Knuckle, because I am not locked in, thus giving me an attack boost off of my attack. So it is really interesting, and then once I'm smaller, if I have taken a fair bit of damage, which I haven't, but even if I had, I could then go for the Drain Punch to give me a boost. The other thing I wanted to talk about is we're running Regenerator. Now, I do not show it off in this, and in 3v3, probably a Dynamax does the job. But if you really wanted to, the other thing you can look at doing is with Regenerator is actually making that swap into what you think is a safe swap. Generally here we're getting Drain Punch, which is odd, but I would have swapped into a normal type if I had one because I'd expect the Ghost move. And thus making that swap allows Reuniclus to recover a third of its HP, whether that be the whole lot to full if he's lost a third or less, or whether it be just a third itself from where we're at. But nonetheless, that is another reason why we are running Regenerator on this set, being a choice set, over, Magic Guard. Now we're on to number 2. So this one's really interesting, I like as well. So this one here is a Encore, Trick Room, Thunder Wave, and Psychic set. Now this I really liked because I get a chance to show you off this other thing. So we're running Calm, we're Magic Guard, and we have max HP, max defense. Now we really want that defense. Now I would suggest having a Dynamax level on this. Don't ask me why I didn't. And then we have leftovers here because we want that passive recovery. So anyway, we're going into this battle. Now, this one here, I wanted to show this off in a double because I thought it just utilized the biggest potential of this set, really. Well, actually, no. This set can be quite potentially deadly anywhere, but I wanted to show it off in a double. So nonetheless, we're going to go for this. It's a Dynamax here. This time I'm just going to go for the Greedent. I thought the Greedent can boost his own attack with Max Knuckle, or we have, boosted other stats to work with. Now, being Greedent, we are slow AF, so this allows me now to go for the Trick Room. We're going to get hit by a Power Punch by the Grapplock, which is fine, and, I can deal with him. We're going to get Flash Cannon by Bronzong. I didn't expect this to do too much. It did a quarter-ish. I was fine with that. So now I get to go for the Max Knuckle. Yeah, it's doing a little bit on Bronzor. Not as much as I guess I'd like, but that's okay. And then I found out it was a crit, and I was like, okay, so this is a defensive boy. But we both get the attack boost, not too fast. But now I can go for the Trick Room, meaning both of us are going to outspeed both of them. So, we've got all the passive recoveries first, because not only is it just him, it is me too. So I do apologise about this slow part of the battles, which when you're just trying to learn about Pokemon is a little bit, So anyway, he's actually going to swap, which I'm surprised with. I would have liked to have got a couple more massive hits off. So I went for Max Knuckle. I ended up swapping to Grapplock, and I don't know why I did, to be honest. I would have been best sticking where I was if he didn't swap, so I guess I didn't make a too bad a call. And now I'm going to go for a Psychic with Reuniclus. I'm sorry I keep saying that wrong. But Grapplock is going down. I guarantee with just Psychic itself, it would have done enough damage. So anyway, bit of recovery to Reuniclus, and we're going to get Claydol coming out. And I was thinking, okay, well, what do I want to do here? And so with Greedent, I thought I'm going to go for the Max Overgrowth because that's super effective and I'm +2 in attack. I should be able to deal with Claydol, and I'm correct, because this thing could be a slow Trick Roomy set, or it could be a Rapid Spin Sweeper like I have showed off before as well. But nonetheless, the Claydol's going down, And I'm able to get the Psychic off on this Whimsicott. Now, I was hoping to take it out, but without any special attack boost, not too much. But he's going to have an eject button, which I found was really weird. And he's going to swap back out there. So Bronzong is coming in, so I was like, oh, still got to deal with this thing. I forgot, but I can do it. Now, you have to remember, matching up a good partner for this wouldn't be bad if you had a poison move, because then you could be boosting Reuniclus's special attack while doing this. You could boost up anything you want, really, but it is a cool way to make a Gigantamax slow Pokemon really work hard. So she's obviously going to bring this Whimsicott back out. And my Dynamax is over, so I thought, kind of want to deal with this guy. Now, I haven't actually, because I'm more concentrating on the Trick Room, I haven't gone for the Thunder Wave yet. I could do it, but that is going to slow him down, meaning he will be acting prior to my Greedent instead of afterwards. So I thought I'd go for it this turn, but he avoided the attack. So this was the last Pokemon I was happy to do it on, because he's, as you can see, like, he's faster than one and slower than another, and I didn't want to leave that completely up to chance later. I'd rather take him out ASAP. But anyway, we're going to recover, we're going to recover, we're going to recover. And then this was obviously a bit of a long battle, so I thought we'll just push it through, because at this point I should be able to get it. So anyway, we went for a C-Bomb with Greedent, because everything I have is not really great against this guy. And, you know, the Protect's going to save him. But I actually wanted to lure him into doing that, because I am carrying, as you remember, Encore. And for a Pokemon who uses the, either like things like Fake Out or Protect or that you're going to outspeed, or in Trick Room underspeed next turn, you can get it off. But lucky I am faster, it worked out, and I'm able to get the Encore off on Bronzong. The only problem being now it's going to be stuck in Protect, and except for the turns that, you know, it doesn't work, we can't hit. And at this rate, I didn't want to waste a bazillion turns or wait them out. So in the end, I end up making some swaps here. Someone else, sorry, not swaps, we ended up taking him right down and body pressing him down with the Greedent there. So we ended up taking him out, but, you know, it was fun. Now, on to the final set. Now, I really, really like this set, and I decided to edit it to give it a bit something new. So we have our Trick Room, our Shadow Ball, our Focus Blast, but I really wanted to show you Expanding Force. And for those who don't understand, I'll go into it when we get into the video. But nonetheless, we are running an Regenerator, because in case we want to swap, I want that heal. We have a Quiet Nature. We are running max HP, max special attack. Obviously, we don't want to be, you know, fast. And that way we have the Potato Berry, because we're going for a special attack boost. Now, if you are happy to Dynamax with any set, you can easily push for the weakness policy above a Potato Berry, but the Potato Berry is where I want to go at this point. So this one's against Leon, and I thought, okay, well, I really like this, because if this can work out, I can make it work. Now, as you can see here, I have an Indeedee with me. Please do not consider this Indeedee set, if you notice anything, to be amazing. This is literally just fresh out of a raid, or ages ago, not fresh, but I needed the Psychic Surge. So I'm going to go for the first turn. We're going to get Fire Fanged. I didn't really care. Indeedee still lives, so that's fine. I'm going to get Poison Jab from Haxorus. So both the opponent's Pokemon are generally fast. We're going to get Poison, which sucks. Now, if I was running Magic Guard, I wouldn't have had a problem, but I'm not this time. The other problem I have with this is I can be taken down later. I went for the Psychic on Haxorus and almost took him out, which I was surprised with, because as I said, Indeedee is not carrying any investment or anything of any sort. So anyway, I this turn went for the Expanding Force, and as you can see, Expanding Force hits both Pokemon in Psychic Terrain, and the power is boosted because of Psychic Terrain, and then you get the Psychic Terrain boost as well, and you get the Stab. So that absolutely monstrous attack power on that thing. So anyway, we're going to get the Charizard and the Rillaboom coming in, and I thought, let's see how this goes. So he's going to Gigantamax his Charizard, as he does, you know. Yeet that ball. And we get to see the Pokemon who has been most overdone in the last couple of games. And now I get to have a look at the fact that I'm going to go for the Expanding Force again. I was intrigued. I thought I should be able to do a lot to Rillaboom, but we'll see. We take out Rillaboom, and we take Charizard well under half, which is awesome, because you've got to remember, as I said before, I have not got any boosts in this Reuniclus. Reuniclus, sorry. So, Indeedee going to get hit here. Yeah, Indeedee's going to go down. But Indeedee's main job was to set up the terrain. Unfortunately, we end up, going down, and the terrain is changed due to the G-Max move, but that was okay. Now, his Rillaboom could have possibly had Grassy Surge, but it didn't, luckily. I'm going to bring in Lunatone, but really, I'm just going to go for one more attack, so Shadow Ball or anything at that stage will be taking him out. Now, without any boosts there, like the Potato Berry will give us a boost, so a Potato Berry Expanding Force in Trick Room is going to be crazy good. The other reason is because if you want to save this Pokemon for a stronger hit later with the Regenerator ability, you can swap him out, and that's why we have that Potato Berry. So that is all of my Reuniclus sets, guys, and I really love showing them, but we have a bonus, and I wanted to show this guy off. I've had this guy for a while. Now, this is a Solosis set, very similar. Now, I've had him since Sun and Moon. We have Shadow Ball, Trick Room, Energy Ball, and Psychic. So some nice strong attacks. We have max HP, max special attack, and as you can look, that special attack at level 53 is 166, and we aren't even putting any nature boosts into it. And then, like I said, we're carrying the Potato Berry. Now, with max HP, you more often have a chance to live a move, but now that we have Dynamax, we can push it even further, and you could even possibly look at having him with a weakness policy, because at double HP, there's a good chance if somebody isn't crazy strong, you're gonna live. So we get hit with a Fake Out. It does a chunk, nothing crazy, but a chunk. And we're gonna get hit with the Freeze Dry, and I thought, God damn it, I can get the Trick Room off, but it wasn't strong enough, and that's what I was hoping for, to knock me into that Potato Berry spot. So this is what I spoke of before. I can utilize Dynamaxing to make sure I can get into that range. So here, as you saw before, I do carry the Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, and Psychic. Now, if I wanted to, I could move any of those moves around, but I'm very happy with all three of those. So, knowing I'm going to outspeed him this turn, I decided I'm going to go for the Max Mindstorm, because I'm going to give myself that boost for the Psychic Terrain. Now, the reason I went for this is not because of versing this Pokemon itself, is because I want to get hit with another Freeze Dry to knock me into the Potato Berry area. So here it comes, and I live on 31. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that without Dynamaxing. Pop my Giant Berry, and I'm now able to get off a Max Phantasm, which at +1 with that massive special attack stat, I'm going to be able to kill him. So he's going down, and so generally at about a 150, 160 special attack stat at level 50. So then we're looking at 200 and something. So now I'm going Max Mindstorm again. It's neutral to him, stab for me, and Psychic Terrain boosted. The Lucario is going to go down. So finally we have the Excadrill coming in. Now, I probably actually should have gone for my Psychic here, because I get the boost from Stab and the boost from Terrain. But I decided to go for an Energy Ball because it was neutral. But it gave me the Spadef drop, but it only took off just half his health, and he's going to hit me with an Earthquake. So, without all the other stats to keep me alive, there's a good chance you're going to end up going down, but it is a really cool Solosis set. Now, before I finish off, let's have a quick look at this is Solosis' stats. As you can see, that special attack stat is 105. That is only 20 or 30 less than Reuniclus itself. All the other stats, though, are all over the place. We've got 20 speed, 50 special defense, 40 defense, 30 attack, and 45 HP. So the rest of the stats are very mediocre, but that special attack stat is absolutely insane for a little Pokemon. But anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this. I'm planning on doing more of these, but if you guys have any Pokemon you'd like to see me do, especially now that Isle Armor is out, I want to look at Pokemon that can maybe make a little use of the different moves I can get, and really show them off. So, or the new Pokemon itself. So if you guys want to see any of them, please do comment them down below. And as well as I said earlier, do let me know what you think is the best, layout or running of it, if you've watched the others, if you prefer me cutting out the attack choice or if you'd rather me leave them in for later on. But either way, I am actually really happy to do either. So anyway guys, until my next video, I'll see ya.